the other side of the stream on the top corner pad. I'm gonna cut this hillside out a little more, so that's some pretty cool footage. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. I'm trying to make a pathway across this little stream here, and it'll be kind of a natural bridge going across the top, which is pretty awesome. I didn't think I would be able to get across, but as I was ripping the hill out, I had this layer of rock that is going to work out pretty well. So there's this crumbly layer with a bunch of dirt on the top, and then I hit this layer of rock, and then below that's more crumbly stuff. So I'm going to leave this layer as a bridge, and it should hold up for a long time. It's a pretty thick chunk, probably about 3 to 4 feet thick. So I just gotta take this hillside out. Just gonna go clean it up with my bucket, take as much as I can, put the bucket out, and then I'll go to the ripper. I mean, this stuff's pretty soft, so I can get a lot of it with the bucket. There's a big chunk of rock right here. Let's see if I can get it with the bucket. I'm not sure yet. This stuff's soft. I'll just kind of work it, get this out of the way. See this is the pathway right here where I'm scraping. I don't want to take out these rocks too much. That's gonna have to go. It's just going. Yeah, I gotta be careful not to damage this layer. Yeah, that wasn't good. I took a little chunk out of the corner there, but I'll dig back a little bit. But I gotta be careful not to damage that layer. That's the solid layer. So there's some chunky rock here. Okay, looks like it's gonna come out. I'll be able to get most of this with my bucket here. So this stuff has been, eroded over time from water. There's, those 3 little streams that come through right there. So a lot of the material stuff, you can see it's kind of a chunky, gravelly dirt layer here. The rock turned into gravel mixed with dirt a little bit. You can see it's kind of round and chunky. Almost, it's kind of like a natural gravel, which is nice because it's perfect for making pads with. So this pad is going to be nice and solid, which is nice. So you can kind of see the material. Let me get it closer here. You can see the material. There's little chunks of rock in there, almost like eroded rocky chunks. That's kind of like gravel, and it's all different shapes and sizes. So it packs really nice and tight. Looking at like the top corner of the property. Not going to be able to get up there to grub it completely. You got to do it by hand, which kind of sucks. I got all these machines and I can't get to that area, so it's what it is. Alright, this stuff is looking, there's a big chunk coming out here. Wow. Ooh, damn. Okay. So there's massive chunks right here. Okay, I gotta be careful. I don't want this chunk Gosh, I'm not sure what to do with this big one. It'll probably break apart, but dang, this is a beast. So I'd say this one probably weighs around 6,000. Okay, it's starting to break apart a little bit. Hopefully it'll break apart a little more, because this thing is huge. It's a huge piece. Okay, breaking up. Still probably around 5,000 pound chunk right here, but you got to be careful with when you're swinging off to the side. Dang, this is a beast. Okay, I don't know if I want to swing to the side. I want to tip. Ooh, that was a little scary. I started to kind of tip almost there. Oh yeah, see, I'm starting to tip. Ooh, that's a big piece. That is a big boulder. Not sure what to do with that one. I'm gonna have to bury that sucker, and that's quite a lot to bury. Maybe I'll set that down in a stream right on the bottom. Not sure. I don't know if I want to put boulders in the bottom of the stream or not. You know, I was thinking of stacking some, and, you know, kind of stacking them nice and making like a little water feature out of it, and then the waterfall kind of flow down over it. I don't know, but at the same time, I'm kind of making the waterfall shorter. So if I don't put anything down in the stream, I'm gonna have a taller waterfall, which will be kind of cool too. So I think I like the taller waterfall deal. Gosh, I just don't know what to do with these boulders. I wish I would have got them when I was first making this pad. I mean, God, this is a big chunk too. This one might be even bigger. Damn, this one's thick. Oh, yeah, this is a big boy. Gotta be careful with this one. I don't want to. Ooh, damn. I mean, this thing still handles it, but this is a big boy here. Actually, I can't. Wow. So this, okay. Yeah, I can't lift it any higher. This is maxing it out. This thing probably weighs closer to 7,000 pounds right there. Oof. Jeez. That's the first time I had my machine maxed out where I couldn't lift it all the way out. I mean, it only lifts 5,000 pounds out, so it's definitely over 5,000 pounds. I mean, I'd say it's more like between 6,000 and 7,000. But I mean, I am not running this machine on beast mode right now, so I got about 20% more power I could use. But from what I read, the hydraulic system should be working at 100% still. It's just it'll work faster in high power mode. They call it beast mode. It's pretty beastly when I run in high power mode. But dang, these are some big chunks. It'd be pretty cool rock features, so I think I'm gonna keep them out. I just don't know what to do with them right now. I'll stick them somewhere. I like the rock features. I might stick it on this corner. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta clean everything up first, and then we'll check it out. Let's see where I can put it. Alright, so the rest of this looks like it'll come out pretty easily. Not gonna have to bust out the ripper for this section. So right there, I gotta make sure I don't really cut it back too much. I don't want it ponding up in the back too much. I mean, this is a little tricky spot for drainage. I mean, I just don't know what the streams are gonna do shooting out of this hillside now. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I mean, they're gonna go down into this channel either way. but I gotta make sure I build up this pad on this corner a little higher so they don't jump into the pad and, you know, start to pond up at all when it's raging. I just gotta make sure not to cut it back too far and keep it almost level so it shoots forward. I mean, the water, I want the water to go off this little pathway. It is pretty much to that bedrock, so it's not going to really erode it too much. I don't really care if it erodes it that much. I mean, it is its pathway, so I'm going to let it do what it wants to do. Can't really mess with streams too much. And this is not a, you know, it's not a big river or anything. It's not even on the map. So this is really like, it's a small stream, but when it floods up here, it becomes a raging river. So, and it's not a big river. I'd say a small raging river, like 6 to 10 feet across raging. And that's pretty good. I mean, that's dangerous. You know, you can get swept away easily in this one. So, you know, most of the time it's just a small stream, a few feet wide. But, you know, again, when it floods, and it does flood up here every year, it becomes a raging river and it becomes dangerous. So that's what I'm planning for. And I've seen it several times raging. I mean, we had like probably like 100-year flood up here like about 3 summers ago. Oh, it was bad. We had a month where we had like 70 or 80 inches of rain in 1 month. It was insane. I mean, we had days where we got close to 10 inches, and we had several of those days. Really bad ones. So I came up here in my rain gear and I checked out the stream. I walked the whole thing on my property, and I watched it for a while. I mean, I spent a couple hours up here in the pouring rain, checking out the whole stream throughout my property, just to make sure I understand what it does, where it's going, where it's ponding up, you know, what it wants to do, and all that. So it looked good. I mean, it's not going to jump its channel. I mean, that was probably the worst it's going to get. Hopefully that kind of flooding won't happen in my lifetime again, but I will plan for it when when I'm developing this property right here. I am planning for that, but it's easy to plan it when I saw it, so I know what it's doing. Again, I got a deep channel right here, so it cut its way pretty deep in my property, so it really won't jump anywhere. It's just right here where it's shooting out, I got to make sure I don't mess with its path too much. I want to make sure it keeps, you know, it goes down from this top side and continues down into its channel and doesn't jump to either side onto my pad here or that other side. So that's all I'm really worried about right here. Tricky, but it's fun, it's challenging. I mean, it's a really cool spot to be working. Cool property to work on, actually. I like it. So I'm getting a lot more space out of this section here. It's not going to be, it'll be more like parking in a dry season. I mean, in a wet season, I wouldn't recommend anyone park right here, because if it starts pouring, their truck's probably going to get swept away or flooded. So it's definitely not going to be a parking area, but during the dry season, not a big deal. But it's a good spot to be able to turn around. And I can set something up right here to catch the water, so, you know, a big pipe to fill my water tanks on the other side. So give myself a little room to work right here. Set up some kind of spring box or something like that. I gotta figure something out. Probably do something like a spring box, I don't know. I got to see where these rivers are coming out of. It's so overgrown here with weeds. I can't really tell. I can tell a little bit, but again, I gotta go up there by hand and kind of cut the weeds back. Then I could see it. So once I understand where it's coming from and let it, go through a summer really, and then cut its channels, and then I'll set something up after that. Then I can see what area would be best to set up a spring box or something. Probably pour a little bit of concrete, make a concrete box with a pipe in it. Probably a big pipe, at least 4-inch, and then have it where the water can bypass it, but when it does flow, it'll feed the pipe and then kind of just overflow over it. Set up something like that. Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to bust out the ripper for the rest of this. I mean, there's a lot of dirt right there on that corner, but I gotta bust out the ripper and get the rest of this with that first before I continue. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. Just don't want too much material getting packed here, because once I bust out the ripper, I'd like to just rip as much as I can and not have too much material in the way. So again, when I mentioned like you got to wing it with your plan and excavation on properties, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, I was working on the other side, and as I came down across to come to this side to get my ripper, there was a grub pile along the way, so I moved that, which saved me time from going back and to move it. I was already there. And I came over here to get the ripper and decided, you know what, since I'm here, I'm just going to cut this hill out and work on this a little bit more and move this material while I'm here, so I don't have to come back up here and do it again. I mean, might as well just finish this section right here and then go back down. So that's kind of what I mean by winging it. I'm not talking anyway. I'm trying to, it's not like just randomly doing things. I mean, I'm talking about having a daily plan, and as you're moving, plan wisely. Be efficient with your movements, and work that area as you're in the area. Don't move all around the property and not do things along the way. Everything's got to get done at some point. You might as well do it while you're in the area, so you don't have to go back to it. So that's my point about winging it. It's just a daily quick plan in your movements. Be smart about your movements. That's key with excavation. Not really flat right here. So yeah, I mean, that's something you got to be good at. And it's pretty easy. I mean, you just kind of work the areas as you're in it and try not to move around too much. So try to finish the area as you move. And I mean, sometimes you can't, like that other side I was working on earlier, I can't finish it until I clean up the stream from this side, so I got to move back on that side anyway. So I'm going to come to this side, clean this up, clean up the stream, clean up this pad, move this material, extend the pad a little more, and then go back to the other side. So that's just a more efficient plan. So this little section right here, I'm gonna kind of cut out a little channel, kind of a safety channel in between the pad and the streams, just so it doesn't jump. If it jumps over, it's gonna hit this little channel. So I mean, that's my plan here. I'm gonna cut it out in the end as I move back after I move all this material out, but think one of the streams is like, I'll point it out with the bucket. So right there on the tip of the right tooth is where one of the streams comes out, I'm pretty sure. So it's gonna come down right there, and when I cut this material out, it should just come down here, and I'll cut a little channel for it, and it'll shoot off the, here. So there's another one that's about right there, the tip of the same tooth, the right tooth coming down, and it's gonna come right in the middle and then down. And then the other one, I'm not exactly sure where the other one is. It's so overgrown that I can't really see it right now. I think it's on the other side a little bit. So I gotta kind of walk up there into the forest and follow it back, and then I can find the path again. So the weeds just grew in so much I can't see it. So I'm gonna switch to the ripper now. Have a little bit of fun here. Alright, so I just dump this bucket on the other side over here out of the way. Right back in here. This is how you use a quick coupler in a cat. You just unlock all the way back, and then you go a little bit more to unlock it completely, and it unlocks, you can see, and then you just dump the bucket. It is pretty loud and annoying, but I understand it for safety reasons. So my ripper is right here in the dirt. Can be a little tricky to put on. Doesn't really stand up very well when it's soft ground like this, but you just gotta try and maneuver it and position it right. Can be a little tricky sometimes. Come on, there we go. That should be pretty good. Turn it a little bit. Should be able to do it from here. There we go. So I got it. And then you lock it, and then you go back, same thing, all the way back, you can see it lock. And then you cycle the hydraulics. So you cycle the hydraulics, and your tool's locked, and then just give it a little wiggle, make sure the back is locked, and you're good. So that's how you deal with quick couplers. They work pretty good. I like it. You can imagine if I had to go out and try to pop some pins out and get that thing positioned and push pins in, that'd be a nightmare. Alright, so I'm going to work this front section a little bit first. This back. Ripper makes quick work of this stuff. Works really well. Love running this ripper. I'm sure my machine hates it, but it is what it is. I gotta use it around here, and it's a indispensable tool for excavation on the Big Island, Hawaii. You definitely need a ripper. If you don't have one, you're wasting your time here. Some guys like that though. They like to milk it so much that they don't want tools that make the job more efficient. They try to keep it inefficient, and that's not good. Don't hire those guys. Stay stay away from those scammers, I call them. Trying to scam you out of your money by working the jobs and milking it. Pretty good at prying. I mean, you can use it as a pry bar. You gotta be careful with it, don't pry it too hard, but it works really great for rocks that are kind of wedged. There's a lot of material in here. So I'm just gonna use all this and build out the pad a little more. As far as I'm going to go back. I'll cut the top back a little bit so it's not so steep, and kind of leave the bottom sticking out so it's not going to erode. I don't want any erosion. I'm going to probably plant some ground cover up here and let it crawl down the side here just to keep it from eroding. So I'll cut the top off a little bit more. All right, that made quick work of that. If I can get to that other section without having to switch to the bucket and clean this up yet. Let's see. Starting to hit these boulders here. Let's see if I can push it out of the way. It's nice having the blade kind of push material out of the way. Okay, I can get to some of it. Take this chunk out here. Oh yeah. See how easy that is? I mean, mess up your bucket trying to do that, but and there's no point busting out a hammer for this. I mean, look at that. I mean, quick work with that. Saves your hammer. I mean, I barely even had to pull at that. It came right out. Look at that. I mean, that's why I have a ripper. I mean, a lot of times it's like that. You don't really have to pull at it too hard, and it comes right out. This tiger tooth I put on it is working really well. I like it. I think I'm going to run tiger teeth on it the whole time I use it. I do have some other teeth, but I'm probably just going to run it on my trenching bucket. I got some rock chisel teeth, but it's the same size. It's a J300, so instead of running it on the ripper, I'm just gonna run it on my trenching bucket. And I'll probably just switch teeth here and there. I mean, the trenching bucket, I'd like some flatter teeth than a rock chisel, but for areas where I'm dealing with a lot of rock, probably throw those on. I'll try it out. I mean, I gotta use it at some point, so. My other heavy-duty rock bucket takes a J300 as well, so that's pretty nice that this ripper takes the same size teeth as two of my buckets. I can kind of interchange them. But I was using rock chisels before, and they worked pretty good. I mean, it was working good, but this just works way better. I mean, it's way more concentrated on the tip. I'm able to get into cracks a lot easier. Definitely making quicker work. Might leave this section here just to divert the stream to the left side, and this is going to help. So I'll probably leave that rock and maybe just hammer that corner off. So I pretty much got it all. I mean, I gotta come back after I clean it up and get that section right there, but it looks like I could probably get that with the bucket. Alright, well, it's a lot of material to move, so I'm gonna go back to the bucket and move this material. Video's getting kind of long. I might chop it up into a couple of videos. I don't know. Let's see. Or just speed it up. Boulders. Dang. Just drop the blade down real quick here, stabilize myself. So there should be some good footage. You can see my tripod over there with the other GoPro. That's going to be cool when I speed that up, and you can check out cutting the hillside out. And if you guys want to leave in the comments, you know, what videos you guys like, based on how I record them and what angles and stuff, let me know. I'd like to know. I mean, I'm new to this. This is the start of my channel, and I just want to figure out what angles you guys want to watch it at. I have my ideas from what channels I like. I like Andrew Camarada, really good channel. He's just starting to blow up. He's about at 140,000 subscribers right now. He hit 100,000 probably a few weeks ago, and he got about 40,000 within that few weeks. So he's blowing up right now. Actually, he's the reason why I'm starting my channel and got the motivation to start it. I do a lot of things similar to what he does, but in a different way. So it's similar but different, and similar in a way that, you know, he's a do-it-yourselfer and so am I. I'm doing things on a little bit bigger scale with certain things. I'm not going to be building a castle, so he definitely beat me on that. But I do have some big projects coming up, and this property is a big project, and I'm doing it by myself. So it's, you know, I like his style. I like how he just fixes everything, and he goes a little beyond what I would do with fixing stuff. I used to fix pretty much everything I could before, but I don't have the time now, and I try to focus on my businesses a little bit more, and I'll try to pay people to fix a lot of my things. I mean, I can fix a lot of things. I mean, I can fix pretty much anything if I want to. One thing I try to stay away from is a lot of mechanic work, especially on vehicles. I pretty much hate mechanic work on vehicles. You know, growing up, I didn't have any money, so I had to try and fix everything myself in all my vehicles I had. So I know how to do a lot of things on it, but I don't like it. They're a pain in the ass to deal with. Working on this machine's not bad. I mean, I haven't done a whole lot on it yet, but everything is, you know, it's a lot bigger, a lot more space to work on. You don't have to like jack it up or anything like that on vehicles. You do, it sucks. Having a lift would help. Andrew's got a lift. It'd be awesome. I'm probably going to get one in the future to do simple things, you know, like oil changes and rotating tires and stuff like that. Working on my side-by-side and, you know, farm equipment is going to help. But again, I love his channel. He's actually my favorite channel right now. I don't know, you know, he doesn't have like really nice machines he works with or anything like that. He has old machines, but they work for him. You know, he makes money with them still. He just keeps fixing them and keeps running. I like that. You know, I mean, I have, you know, nicer machines, but I'm gonna pretty much run a bigger business here than he has. He's got kind of a one-man show. I'm going to try and get a few employees at least and do bigger jobs than he does. So that's the reason why I got bigger, nicer machines is, you know, I figure I invest a little more in the beginning and I got less downtime. So, but you know, if you don't have as much money to start off with like Andrew, then you got to work with what you got, and he's working with what he's got, and he's got quite a bit now, you know. So I mean, his property's bitching. He's got a really good setup. I love his setup, actually. I mean, he's got a really nice shed, which is awesome. I mean, I want to build one like that on the bottom of my property. He's got a really killer piece of property. I mean, perfect for what he does. He's got so much space for all his equipment, and it's set up really well. He's got workshops all over the place. It's crazy. I mean, he's got so much workspace. It's amazing. And I can't wait to have that much workspace. So I'm thinking about putting a small workshop up here. It'll be nice because I'm away from my neighbors. I'm pretty far away from my neighbors up here, so I can make a lot of noise all night long if I want to, and I'm not going to really annoy anybody. So that would be nice to have a workshop up here. And I won't annoy my wife. You know, she goes to bed pretty early, so you can see where my house is way down there. So that's going to be nice to have a workshop up here. So we'll see. Hopefully one day. I got to start making more money. I mean, the other thing is it's expensive in Hawaii, so it's hard to do as much as he does